What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Modern Warfare, the new Call of Duty game coming out in 2019, more specifically like 3 days from now or something like that. I haven't really counted because I just want to play the game so bad that I think counting wouldn't be healthy for me. But anyway, guys, this is going to be hopefully a very good game. I think that every single year when a new Call of Duty is about to come out, everyone's like, oh my goodness, we just played the beta, this is going to be insane, a lot of hype this year, and then it always dies out like after a month. And I don't want to be one of those people that's just going to say that over and over again, but I really am hoping more than thinking that Modern Warfare is going to be one of the best Call of Duty games for a long time. And it's kind of up for debate when the last good Call of Duty game was, but there have been a lot of games that just haven't lived up to the expectations, and we'll be going over that today and how it could be the best one in a long time. So let's just assume for the sake of this video that the last very good Call of Duty that we've seen was in 2012 when Black Ops 2 came out. Obviously, you can make an argument that any of the more recent games were amazing Call of Duty games, especially Black Ops 3. I think that was a very strong game, mostly because of its zombies. The multiplayer was also fun, but then there's this whole problem with boots on the ground and stuff like that, and I think that just the main Call of Duty, or the most recent one rather, that was the most undisputable about just being very iconic was Black Ops 2, so we're going to use that a little bit as a reference point. But we're going to be going through all three modes that are going to be in Modern Warfare individually and saying what will make them stand out from the other previous modes that have been in Call of Duty in the last 7 years or so since Black Ops 2 came out, and why it is going to be such a great experience for everyone who's going to be playing it. So starting off with the new campaign mode that will be coming, I haven't personally played a campaign since I can't even remember when the last one was. Maybe it was Black Ops 4. Oh wait, Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign. So I think that on its own is something that will make the Modern Warfare campaign just so much more enjoyable. Like the fact that we didn't have one the previous year. I don't know, that's just food for thought. But anyway, for me personally, I haven't played one for so long. I think the last one I played in its entirety was Black Ops 2 back in 2012, like I had already mentioned. And I think that for me, you would think that I wouldn't be a big campaign guy, but I looked at the campaign trailers and I am actually very interested in playing this. It's actually one of the things that I'm most excited for when Modern Warfare is released. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. I think that even for those players who don't really play campaign, it is still going to be really interesting. And if you guys don't normally play them, I would suggest just hopping into it for a little bit and seeing how it appeals to you. But for those of you who have played campaigns in the past and you are very excited every year for the new one that's coming out, you will remember, if you played the Modern Warfare campaigns, just how amazing those were and how you were just tied to these characters like I was. And I think that that is just an amazing thing that Modern Warfare will have going for it in its campaign this year, is that it will have returning characters like Price, Soap, Gaz. I'm pretty sure that those were all confirmed guys. I know that at the very least Price is returning. That one is 100%, but I also saw that a lot of old characters are going to be returning, and I think that that is something that is going to tie a lot of people back to the campaign mode. But I think that a lot of this is going to lie on Infinity Ward and the storytellers and how they are able to strike the balance between the new and the old, the old characters that they're going to bring back into the game, and how they make the story different and how they make the universe different. I don't know, it's a lot down to that. I think that I don't want to see just a carbon copy of the same campaign that we used to play, but I don't want to see no familiarity. I don't want to see no nostalgia in the campaign that's ultimately a Modern Warfare game. So that's something to keep an eye out for, how Infinity Ward ends up balancing the Modern Warfare campaign. But overall, I think that they will do a good job of it. I think that it's just going to be exciting, and it's going to address real world issues today. And I think that overall campaign is going to be, for that reason, the best that we've seen potentially since 2012. So guys, moving on to multiplayer, this is actually going to be the third year in a row that boots on the ground is a thing, and that's how the multiplayer is going to function. I believe the last time was Infinite Warfare, and that kind of style of play was just met with so much backlash that they decided to scrap that. And moving into World War II, they just said that, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to have boots on the ground, return to the roots, etc. And I think that for that reason, we want to compare what this game is going to look like with the games that were either after that boots on the ground era or before, because honestly, I don't think that it will be comparable to the boots on the ground times at all. I think it will be comparable to World War II, Black Ops 4, and then before that, starting with Ghosts, and then going backwards from there, the Black Ops games, Modern Warfare games, etc. That said, I would not argue that there was a super fun Call of Duty multiplayer since maybe still like Black Ops 2, I don't know. Nothing jumps out of my mind and as iconic. I would say that Call of Duty Ghosts was not very popular at all, and I think that that is definitely a true statement. I think that arguably the World War II and the Black Ops 4 multiplayers were not too bad, and I enjoyed them personally. I didn't think that they were that bad, but they weren't a ton of fun. They weren't playable for more than like a month or two, and I think that when you do get to that area where you can play a multiplayer for more than 2 months, that's when you're talking about a really good multiplayer. It's weird because we know the most about multiplayer than the other two modes because we've already had a beta of it, but I just don't see many criteria that will determine if this multiplayer will be better than the other ones because it's just kind of fuzzy. A lot of it is opinionated, but there is one thing in my mind that I do think will stand out that will make this multiplayer a lot more enjoyable than other ones, and I think that that's just the fact that it won't have microtransactions. It is going to have a battle pass, kind of like how Black Ops 4 did it, and I'm not necessarily guaranteeing that you won't have to pay to get this because I'm not sure if it will be free like it was in Black Ops 4, but either way, no one complains about having a battle pass in Fortnite. So nobody's going to complain about having a battle pass in this game, and it's just a lack of microtransactions. It's a lack of paying to win because they're not going to come out with additional like weapons and stuff that you can get through buying loot boxes. It's just cosmetics, and I think that this is very cool, and it's just going to make multiplayer a lot more enjoyable because the community has been begging for this for a long time. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below because I think that it is just a matter of opinion. But when you guys played the beta, what did you think about the game? Obviously, there is going to be a lot of changes from the beta to the game at release. Like there weren't even camos in the game at that time, and obviously there will be camos when the game is released. So we'll just see how things go. There will be improvements from the beta and just from multiplayer in other years in general, but besides that, guys, let's get into Spec Ops, which we probably know the least about. So it was said that Spec Ops will be building off of the Modern Warfare campaign, and I'm not exactly sure what that is going to mean for the game. We do know that there will be missions and stuff like that based off of what the campaign story is setting up, but in terms of the specifics, it's still kind of fuzzy. It's not very clear at all as to what we will be doing. I'm sure it's just kind of like some heroics and some storyline based things that don't tie in directly but are kind of related with the campaign. We're not exactly sure, but there was actually a trailer released on the Call of Duty page about the Spec Ops mode and what it will entail, but again, that's just kind of mostly related and not related but more similar to the campaign trailer where it didn't really show actual gameplay as much as kind of cinematic shots and stuff like that. So we're not exactly sure what it will be, like I've said like 10 times before this, but we do know that it is going to be kind of related to the campaign, and I think that the main thing about this that is important is that it's not going to be zombies. I don't know about you guys, but I've just gotten so burnt out on zombies over the last few years, and obviously everything with the Treyarch zombie storyline just kind of went down in flames. A lot of people just lost interest in it because of the way that all these other games tried to do it, tried to copy it, and just kind of failed. And I really appreciate that the Modern Warfare game is not going to be trying to do the same thing. They're just going to create their own mode. They're not going to be trying to force zombies down their throats again for like however many years in a row it is, which that's very nice in my opinion. And I think there's just the break from zombies is going to be something that's going to be very nice for us. So regardless of what Spec Ops has and what we're going to be doing, I think that it's going to be fresh, it's going to be new, but still have that Modern Warfare vibe, and that is a reason that I think that it is going to be a lot of fun when the game comes out. Make sure you guys let me know in the comments if you guys do have a physical copy of the game like on disc when you are able to play it, because I think that if you have it on disc you do get to play it earlier than other people. But what I do know is that if you live in North America, you can play this at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 2 days from now, I think. The day that this video is being released, I'm pretty sure, which will be Thursday night. So guys, this is just so exciting. It's another year of Call of Duty. We'll see if it's just false hype like it is a lot of years, or if this will be a truly good game. These are reasons that if you've ever played Call of Duty before, you should try it out this year. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I will see you later.